All right, so go ahead and find yourselves in a comfortable seated position, girls. Let's go ahead and get started. Sitting up nice and tall, taking a few minutes, as we always do, to slow down that mind, that body, and that breath. Remember, too, if you're not comfy in a cross-legged position on the ground, you can always grab yourself a blanket, elevate yourself, give yourself a little bit of space between your legs and the earth so that you get those hips to open up a little bit more. If you'd like, whatever is going to be best for your body, you know. So keep that in mind through our practice today, to listen to that body, listen to what that body is telling you. Listening to that body if it's quietly speaking to you, or if that body's loudly speaking to you, or maybe if that body is screaming at you. Just noticing the difference between a place where your body might be able to take you versus a place where perhaps today is not the day where your body's going to take you there. And just keeping a mindful connection between that body and that mind and that breath. Letting that breath flow throughout that mind and that body. Keeping that breath flowing throughout that mind and that body. The next time you inhale, lifting up through the top of the head. As you exhale, lower that chin to your chest, and then begin gently rocking that head out side to side, right, left, right. Taking that neck through some half neck circles, just limbering and loosening up. And then we'll take the right ear over to the right shoulder. You're going to press that left shoulder down and away, create some space to the side of the neck, stretch the shoulder. And then we're going to take that left hand down beside us. And then we're just going to turn that palm so it's facing up. And just feeling how that stretch goes a little bit differently through the side of the neck. I'm going to turn that palm so it's facing back. So just rotating that palm and that arm, just the direction, a little bit different stretch. And then I'm just going to slowly begin rotating that palm forward and that palm back. Begin a little active stretch. And then we're just going to replace that hand back on that leg. Relax that shoulder and then begin rocking that head out side to side again, left, right, left. And then when you're ready, you're going to take the right ear over to the right shoulder. I'm going to hold it here, press that left shoulder down away. Again, just creating as much space as we can through the side of the neck. And then taking that hand down beside you, and just again having that palm facing forward. And then rotating that palm so it's facing back. Again, keeping the chin lifted and back. Continue to breathe. And again, just rotating that palm forward and that palm back. So again, little active stretching, dynamic stretching. Rotating that palm forward, rotating that palm back. And then again, just taking that hand, placing it back on that leg. And then again, a couple more times, just rock it out. Left, right, left. And then bring that chin down towards center. And then as you inhale, lifting that head up. You can open those eyes if they're not open. Inhale those arms up, exhale, and fold forward. Seated forward fold, head, chest, and body coming forward. If you're propped up, you might want to remove those blankets. Just folding, hips opening, back opening as we stretch forward. And then from here, nice deep breath, inhale, head up, and all that body comes up together. And then we're going to bring those legs into a bound angle. So just bringing those feet together, soles of the feet together. Inhale, lifting up, exhale, folding forward. And as you fold forward, you can either hip a hold of those legs, let those elbows push out. You can release those arms forward, whatever feels good for you. couple breaths. And then from here, nice deep breath, inhale, head up, and let's bring ourselves up. And then from here, we're gonna take those feet out in front of us with those knees bent. We're just gonna windshield wiper those knees from one side to the other. Just gonna let those hips open up a little bit, rock side to side, and then we'll take those legs over to the right. So just take them over to the right, hold it here. And again, letting those knees drop to wherever it's good for you. And then again, just windshield wiper those legs back and forth. One side, then the other, and then we'll go over to the left side. Holding it here. And then one more time, just back and forth, side to side. We're going to bring it to center. And then from here, coming into a figure four, and I want those legs extended. I don't want those legs close in. I want you to extend those legs out. And then I just want you to come into a gentle figure four. So the right leg crosses over the left and pressing that right knee out and open. And yeah, we could scoot that left leg in a little bit closer. We'll do that a little bit later when we're a little bit warmer, a little more open in the hips. But right now, just letting that knee drop out and open and taking a little stretch for that right leg. And we're just going to take it down again, nice and long and extended. Left leg crosses over, and again, knee drops out. And then go ahead and release that leg down. Let's come up onto our hands and our knees, couple cat cows. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, round the back, chin in towards the chest, coming into cat. And inversing that curl, coming into cow. Tailbone lifts up behind you. And then round, reverse. Inhale, exhale, cat cow, stretch that spine. One more time each way. And then we're going to make our way into a neutral spine. And then from here, we're going to just sit back and circle back to the right and to the left, into those hips a little bit. Take the hands a little bit further in front, because as you come forward, push the hips forward. So kind of come into a long extended child's pose, circling those hips round and over. One more time, and once you get yourself back to center, hold here and then switch directions. So push back to the other side. So again, just circling those hips round and back. One more time, once we get ourselves back to center, we're just going to sit back into our normal child's pose. Feet together, knees apart, reach those arms forward, extend, sit back onto those heels. Just take a couple breaths right here, reach long. And then let's bring those hands up. Let's go ahead and make our way to our down dog. Bring that head up. Go ahead and push back into those heels to your downward facing dog. So come into our down dog. If it feels good, you can walk it out. Do it works. Looking towards those hands, walk those feet up to the hands, just standing forward fold with head, chest, and body, coming towards those legs, lengthening those hamstrings, lengthening that back and drawing it all together as best as you can. Also too here, feels good, walk it out. Lengthen one side while you take a little bend on the other side. Remember, it's gonna feel good this morning. Whenever you're ready, come back to your hold and hold. And let's inhale to a flat back. Gaze comes out over those feet, over the end of our mat. Perhaps hands can stay down, or it can go to the shins. What I want you to do though is I want you to feel that long line pulling all the way from the sacrum, all the way up through the cervical vertebrae, all the way through the head, from the bottom to the head. Pulling the crown of the head forward, pushing those hamstrings back. And then exhale, release back to that forward fold. Inhale, arms up to side, head up, chest, knees, nice flat back, up, up, up. We come all the way up to standing. And bringing it up and bringing the hands down and bringing it around. And from here, feet about hip distance apart, hands at our heart center. We're just going to inhale the arms up. We're just going to exhale and bring the arms down. And again, inhale, Hold up. Next time, bring it down. The next time, I'm just going to rise up onto the balls of the feet, and we're just going to come up and hold. So coming up onto the balls of the feet, lifting, lengthening. Come and hold. And then we're going to bring ourselves back down. Once again, inhale, come up, balls of the feet. And from here, just give a little twist to the right. Still balancing up on the balls of the feet. If you need help with balance, get something close to you can hold on to, or even perhaps stand in front of a wall. Come to center that you can fall into, and then rotate back to the other side. And then bring ourselves back to center and release and bring it down. All right, if you can shake it out, go for it. Shake, feet about hip distance apart, nice deep breath, inhale up, and exhale and sit back into chair. Coming to our chair pose, body weight back in the heels, chest is lifted, arms up. Just sitting back comfortably in your chair, keeping that length and that lift through the spine. Bend into those knees where you can. Again, if chair's a little too intense at the moment, so warm it up, just lift the bottom a little higher. If you're nice and warm, sink that bottom down a little lower. One more breath. Let's bring the hands together and let's twist to the right. So take that left elbow above that right knee, give it a twist over to the right. Sitting back, holding it here. And then bring it back to center. Once again, hands together, twist to the left. And making sure that elbow and that arm is landing above that knee. If it didn't really get there and it's down lower, you can always use the other arm to help pick it up, move it. You just don't want to put a lot of pressure onto that knee joint. And bring it back to center, and bring it up. One more breath. And then let's release back into our forward fold. Okay, angel, forward fold here too. Feels good, walk it out. Do what you need. And then from here, taking those hands down, walk and jump to a plank. Nice strong plank, belly in nice and tight, hands under the shoulders. And find that nice long line. And then from here, slowly lower down to your up dog. And then when you're ready to your down dog. Curl the toes, lift the hips, push back into those heels. Come into your down dog. Hold it here for a few breaths. Inhale, exhale. From here, let's lift that right leg up behind us, nice and high, to your down dog splits. Point and flex through that toe. And then point that toe, lift that leg nice and high. We're gonna bend that knee. We're gonna swing it forward in between the hands as we're aiming to get it. And then from here, we're going to lower down onto that back knee and come to a low lunge. So lifting ourselves up, tucking that left hip under. And as we come into that lunge, right foot is, you can see those toes, ankles in front of that knee or underneath, just not behind. You should really tuck that left hip under, push it forward. Reaching long with those arms. And from here, let's take that left hand back. If you can get to that left heel, great. If not, go to that calf, or you can even take the hand to the buttocks, or you can put that hand on that hip. So it really just depends wherever you can go. We should be tucking that left hip under, pushing it forward. Looking anywhere it's comfortable, depending on that neck stability. If you don't have a good neck stability, looking up might not be a good place. Looking forward or even down would be better. Just depends on you, depends on your body. One more breath. And then from here, bring ourselves back up and just into that low lunge. Just coming here, and then let's bring those hands together. And let's twist to the right. Now just coming into a low lunge twist. And then for a little bit of balance, a little bit of stability, let's go ahead and lift that left knee, curl those toes, and let's lift ourselves up. So see if you can't, lift yourself up into that high lunge without using those hands. If you need to, use the hands, help yourself up. One more breath. Release, come up into our high lunge. And then we're just going to sneak ourselves into warrior one. We're going to drop onto the inside of that back foot and then take that hip and begin to draw it forward again. So keeping the arms exactly where they were. We got that right toe pointed forward. We've got the left toe out to the sides. We've got our warrior legs, and we've got warrior one as we take that left hip, draw forward, bring it around, wrap it around, and bend into that right knee. Continue to try and draw that left hip around and forward. Wrap it around the body. One more breath, and then turn normal warrior two. So now we're going to open the hips and bend into that front knee. So now we've taken that left hip and we've opened it up and we're drawing that left hip back. Squeeze between those shoulder blades. Come and hold here. As we come into that warrior two, again, gazing anywhere it's good for you. Hey, Allison. Should we bring the birthday girl, Audrey? If she's here, happy birthday, Audrey. All right, holding here. One more nice deep breath. And then from here, let's go ahead and cartwheel those hands down beside that right leg. Send that right leg back behind you. Chair down dog splits. Angle forward to a nice strong three-legged plank. Pull that belly in nice and tight, and then slowly chaturanga. Release yourself down. Release that leg to your up dog. And when you're ready, to your down dog. Push you back into those heels, chest away from the arms. Come into a down dog. Regroup. Take a moment before we go to the other side. Putting into, feels good, walk it out. If down dog's not so restful for you, you can come to a child's pose. And then let's lift the left leg up behind us. Nice and high, point flex, point flex. Point that toe, lift that leg nice and high, bend that knee, swing it forward, aiming to get it between the hands. If it didn't get there, pick it up, move it down onto that back knee for a low lunge. Lift that chest up, lift the arms. And again, here we're trying to tuck that right hip and push it forward and under. And the left knee again, only place you don't want to have that foot is way behind. You don't want to be stretching at that knee. Really, that foot's just there for placement and for stability. We're not looking to get a lot of stretch out of that left leg. So just make sure that that foot's underneath the knee or even a little bit in front. You can always just wiggle, move it out if you need to. And the right hand comes back. Again, remember, come back wherever you can to that heel if that's available to you. Taking that right hip, pushing it forward and tucking it under. And looking anywhere it's comfortable, wherever that head and that neck will allow you to go. And really try to tuck that right hip under, push it forward. One more breath. And then come off, bring ourselves back up to our lunge, hands together, right elbow above that left knee, twist to the left. And as we take that twist, again, if you've got, find that knee, that elbow placed on that knee, just help it, move it where it needs to be above that kneecap, and then get back to where you were. And then remember, since we did this before, a little bit of challenge for balance. See if you can't lift yourself up, curl that right toe, and lift yourself up into a high lunge. If you need to, though, you can take the hands and help maneuver yourself up so it works. One more breath. And then from here, come back up into our high lunge. Lift the arms, bend into both knees. Perfect. And then from here, as we make our way into warrior one, again, just sneak that right foot down with that right toe pointed to the side, left toe forward, and then draw that right hip. Try and bring it around as you bend into that knee in our warrior one. Holding it here, lifting the arms high as possible. Again, trying to draw that right hip around, wrap it around your body. One more breath. And then open up the hips, open up the arms into our warrior two. So all we've done is draw the right hip back, open it up and out. So now we're trying to pull that right hip back versus trying to draw that right hip forward. Draw it back. Use those shoulder blades together, reach long with those arms. And again, looking out over those fingertips is traditional, but if you have neck issues, you can look anywhere that works for you. Take a couple more nice deep breaths right here. And then from here, cartwheeling those hands down beside that left leg back behind you, down dog splits, or to a three-legged plank. Through your plank, lower down, release to your up dog, and to your down dog. Coming into that down dog, pushing that body weight back into our heels, chest away from the arms. Pull here. As we make our way into pigeon, we're going to take the right leg up behind us, nice and high. Before we go there, circle the ankle one direction, and then circle the other way. And then from here, we're going to point the toe. We're going to bend the knee, right knee towards the right wrist, and the right foot towards the left wrist. Before we go down into our pigeon, remember, ideal pigeon leg would be with that leg at a 45-degree angle, 45 degrees, but some of us might have less than 45. If you want to try and move that lower leg forward, you can, but make sure you're keeping those hips squared. So both hips or headlights are pointed forward, so we're not rolling off to the side with one headlight going in weird directions. They're both going forward. All right, so holding it here before we make our way down, I just want you to take the hands beside you. I want you to lengthen through the chest and lengthen through the body. Create some length as best as you can. If there's a lot of space between you and the ground, that's fine. Then just keep those headlights pointed forward. And then from here, if you can, bend that left knee, reach back with that left hand and grab a hold of that knee ankle and pull it in towards your body. So now incorporating a little bit of stretch through the left front of the left leg and the quadricep, that thigh. Balance with that right hand. Keep that chest lifted. One more breath. And then slowly release that leg. Don't let it fly back. And then walk yourself down, walk down, and rest that head. So now coming into our full pigeon. All right, now, and might be a little late for this, but if you need to reverse this on your buttocks and do a reverse pigeon, you can come out lying on your back and you can do a figure four. You can cross that right leg over that left leg in a reverse position on the other side if this is too intense. If you can, come and try and find some place where you can just rest that head, take a few minutes, settle into your pigeons. Pretty intense stretches going on in that right leg. If you're not feeling any of that intensity, again, remember, if you can, move that lower leg a little bit further up towards being directly out from that knee, up towards the top of your mat. That might help you feel a little bit more of the intensity, a little bit more of the stretch. Just try and settle in as best as you can. Taking some nice deep breaths. Definitely. You're going to feel a little bit of release. Sitting here in your pigeon, just give me a few more nice deep breaths. Try and inhale. Try and exhale. Find a little space. One more nice deep breath. And then from here, just going to lift that head up. Going to walk those hands back. Just slowly elevate that head. Remain here for a moment. Let that head come back up. Let's curl that left toe. And then let's send that right leg back behind you to your down dog splits. And then we're going to bend that knee and let that heel drop out and open to the left. So now we're just opening up that stretch the other way. Bend the knee, open up. One more breath. And then we're going to bring that foot back down, back to our down dog. Come forward to a plank. Through that plank, slowly lower down. Lift up to your up dog. So let's stretch through the front of the body, tops of the thighs or the feet, and then curl your toes, lift your hips, come back into your down dog. take a few moments here to relax, release before we go to the other side. Coming here, holding it here, and then lifting that left leg up behind you. Circle that ankle one direction. Circle the other way. Point that toe, lift that leg nice and high, and again, bend the knee. Left knee towards the left wrist. Left foot towards the right wrist. Before we make our way down again, you want to adjust, find it, but keep those headlights pointed forward. Before we go anywhere, just stay here, lengthen and lift through that chest. So tent the fingers, lift. And stay here, and remember, as I was talking before, your other option would be, if you that's too intense, you can come to a figure 4 here, or here you can do a reclining pigeon, okay? So there's options. That would be your option. And then from here, if you can, if it's available to you, bend that right knee, reach back, grab that right ankle, press into the palm of the hand. Again, a little bit of openness through that right thigh, right quadricep, front of that leg. And also maybe even a little opening in that shoulder if you can get there. If you take that shoulder open, stretch. And then again, slowly release that leg, don't let it fly back. And then walking ourselves down, coming down, rest the forehead, and settle into your pigeon. So come here, and again, if you're not feeling stretching going on that left leg, modify. If you're feeling a lot of intense stretching and it feels like you're having a hard time handling it, again, you can scoot that foot down closer towards the body. But if you're feeling like you can handle more, you're not feeling as much, again, you can try and scoop that leg up a bit more. Just come here, take a few breaths, take a few more, settle into your pigeon. Find a little more breath. Continue to breathe. Inhale, exhale. Get a little deeper. Just give me a couple more nice deep breaths right here. From here, very slowly, lift that head up and walk those hands back. Take the hands underneath the shoulders, curl that right toe, send that left leg back behind you, and then bend the knee and let the heel drop over to the right. So now opening that hip the opposite direction, opening up. And then place that foot down, push back into your down dog, come forward to a plank. Through that plank, let's slowly lower down to your up dog. And then once again, back to your down dog. And then look towards those hands, we'll jump those feet to the hands, standing forward fold. Head, chest, and body coming towards those legs, and lengthen those hamstrings, lengthen that back. Bring it all together and hold it here. And then inhale to a flat back, pushing those hamstrings back behind you. And exhale, release. Inhale, arms out to the side, head up, chest leads, nice flat back. Up we come, all the way up to standing. All right, so coming back up onto our feet here. And then we're going to bring those legs into that figure four, standing on that left leg, and that right leg is going to cross over the top. So kind of similar to, again, to our pigeon, just crossing that leg over. If you need to pick it up, move it. If you need help with balance, you can stand against something. So we're going to come into a figure four chair. So we're just going to bend into that left knee, got that leg crossed over in that figure four. Now, if this is not available to you, you can cross a little lower and you can touch that toe to help keep balance. But if you can, at that figure four, hold it here. Fall off the step. Here you go, buddy. Hold it here. One more breath. And then we're just going to bring ourselves up, release, and let it go. All right. So as we move into the other side, just give yourself a little shake. What we're going to do again is take that weight onto that right leg now, cross it over. So start with that figure four. If you need to adjust yourself, get there, let that knee open up. And then as it's available to you, bend into that knee, come into a one-legged chair. And again, if you need to modify, do what you need. And keep that chest up, bend into that knee, not just taking a little bit of a lean forward, but we're actually bending that right knee, hips are shooting back. And as those hips go back, that chest naturally comes a little bit forward, but don't take a big lean forward. One more breath. And then we'll bring ourselves up. And again, release, give it a shake. Okay. I thought that was kitty. All right, it's kitty time. Is it almost, okay, yes, class is almost over. Kitty's like, what are we doing here? All right, and this time with both feet firmly planted on the ground with the legs together though. So bring those legs nice and close. So inhale up, exhale, sit back into your chair again. So just a different variation of our chair, a little bit different, legs close together, touching, a little bit less maybe stability, but more stability than that figure four. And then release to that forward fold. And again, two here, a little bit different forward fold with those legs both together, close, touching. Hold here. And remembering, if you can't get those hands to the ground, a block or some books to help put those hands on can always help. And then from here, hands down, walk, jump into a plank. Come to a nice strong plank, belly pulled in tight. We'll look together at the end of the mat. And then from here, slowly, once again, chaturanga, release yourself down. Come to your up dog. And one last time, come to your downward facing dog. Pushing that body weight back into those heels, chest away from the arms. Come into your down dog. Just hold it here. One final down dog of the morning. Find something to help give you a little more release. And then from here to our knees, feet together into your child's pose. Sit back, rest that forehead down. Take a moment. Reach those arms a little longer if you can. Sit back a little further if it's available to you. And draw those arms in and just rest those arms and just try and sink a little further back. Sinking a little further back, maybe after a little bit of hip opening. Maybe not. And then from here, very slowly, bring that head up. Bring ourselves up. And then from here, we're going to come to seated. You can either cross those legs through, you can turn yourself over, around, make our way into our boat pose. All right, hello, Diego. Nap time. All right, still with you. Okay. All right, coming into boat. Remember, you have options. You can take the hands, you can take the shins, you can lean back. You can also extend those legs. Do what works for you. Roll the shoulders back and down. Pull that belly in nice and tight. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen and lift through the top of the head. Create that big V shape with that body. One more breath. And then we're just gonna roll it momentum forward, extend those legs and fold forward. So we're taking a quick break before we do that again. Again, find your boat, lots of variations of boat. Do what challenges you. Make sure you're using that core, that belly, that back, that buttocks. And inhale, let's lift ourselves up. So again, coming into your boat, however you wish. And you've got options. You can take those hamstrings, you can take those shins if you need that. If you want to extend the legs and you want to hold on to the back of the legs, you can do that. Squeeze those inner thighs together, lengthen, lift. Choose something that's going to work for you. Do something that's going to challenge you. Not everybody's the same, but you know if you've been doing the same thing and you're just hanging here and you're like, oh, maybe I could extend those legs. Maybe I could have more of a challenge. Try it. Give it one more try. And then once again, take it forward and fold. Stronger in that belly. Maybe, maybe not. And then from here, making sure we've got some room to roll ourselves all the way down and slowly roll. Roll ourselves all the way down. And then as we make our way into bridge next. So hands beside us, gonna bend those knees, put those feet on the floor, feet underneath those knees. And we're just gonna slowly start to lift the vertebrae off the ground from the buttocks all the way up to the middle of the back. Perhaps just lifting, squeezing those legs together, squeezing the backside of the body as we elevate and lift. And from here, we're going to start to slowly lower ourselves down. And then next time as we move, we're just going to incorporate a little bit more movement, a little bit more strength. We're just going to, as we lift the body, we're going to take the arms up overhead. And then as we lower the body, we're going to slowly bring the arms down by our side. So again, just lifting the arms, taking them overhead, and then lowering yourself back down. A little bit of movement, a little bit of strength. Lifting up, once we get the arms back overhead, let's just hold here. Just see if you feel a little bit different with those arms extended overhead. Feel where it's feeling a little bit different in the back side of the body. Maybe, maybe not. And then from here, slowly begin to bring yourself back down. And then from here, extend the left leg, bring that right knee in towards your chest, just hug it in. As you're hugging that leg in, instead of flexing or pointing that toe, just relax that foot. And just feel a little bit of a stretch through that hip flexor. Now the right hand stays with that right leg, and we're just gonna let that right knee open up out to the side. And now feel the stretch a little bit more in the inner thigh or your adductor muscle. Just holding on to it, help support it, don't just let it go. Then bring it back through center. Opposite hand grabs a hold below the knee. Left arm grabs it, pulls it over to the left. And now the right arm goes out to the side at a T. We look over to the right side, over the right shoulder, maybe towards the right fingertips. And then we're gonna bring it back to center. We're just gonna switch legs. All right, so left knee, pull it in, hands below the shin, hug it in nice and tight, and then let that foot relax. And just feel, do you feel a little bit different place where it stretches? Breathe. And again, left hand keeps it, right hand comes out to the side, just let it drop out, open up. And wherever you feel a good stretch through the inner part of that leg, inner thigh, inner hip, maybe even in the groin. Alrighty, opposite hand grabs it, hold, pull it over to the other side. Now take the stretch more through the back side of the body, towards the buttocks. All right, great job today, you guys. It's always nice to show up for yourself. Take a little time. Remember, time for yourselves, not selfish, just self-love, self-care. Always the more that we can do for ourselves just means that much more we can do for others. All right, bring it back to center. And then from here, bring it in, circles, rock it side to side, whatever. Gonna let that low back release a little bit. As we finish up gently with a little bit of self-love and self-care as we make our way into Shavasana. Remember, final posture is up to you, but I do really highly suggest you take something that is going to be relaxing. Traditional is corpse pose with those legs extended, arms down by the side, and just in a comfy position. If you're not comfortable on your back, you can always elevate something underneath your knees, or if you need something for your head, or again, you can choose somewhere else to go, but just a place where you can just let that body and that mind completely release, completely relax. Just keeping those eyes closed and just continue to breathe. Letting be that breath, the only thing that needs to happen within that body and within that mind. And slowly bringing some awareness back into that body and that mind. You can move those fingers, those toes, hands, feet, arms, legs, or even that head, circles side to side. And whenever you're ready, rolling over onto the side of your choice. Anyone who's pregnant should go left. Everybody else can choose a side. Remain here for a moment. Let a little blood flow come back into that heart and that head. Two things you're in total control of in life are your attitude and your effort. Two things you're in total control of in your life are your attitude and your effort. And that's a quote from an unknown source. When you're ready to use that outside arm, push yourself back up to your seated position, back where we began our morning, began our practice. And with a little bit of attitude and effort, we made it through today, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. If you want to unmute and say hello, feel free.